Hi everyone, welcome back to Talk to Me in Tagalog. This lesson is part 2 of our Tagalog I-verb series. Today, you'll learn how to conjugate these verbs into their infinitive and imperative forms, as well as their past, present, and future aspect. Let's get started. As you learned in part 1, Tagalog I-verbs show that something is being put, given, used, applied, moved, or directed toward a specific person or thing. Some I-verbs are used for people because they indicate who receives the action. Others are used for things because they identify the object or tool involved in the action. Let's take a closer look at the structure of Tagalog I-verbs. They consist of the prefix I and a root word, following a simple pattern I plus root word. For example, take the root word bigay, which means give. When you add the prefix I, it becomes ibigay. Ibigay means to give. Before we move on to conjugation, let's define two terms we'll use throughout this lesson: the first syllable and the rest of the root word. In this example, B is the first syllable and gay is the rest of the root word. Understanding this breakdown will make the conjugation patterns much easier to follow. To save space on the slides, we'll use STH for something and SO for someone. Now let's look at the infinitive form. In English, the infinitive is formed by using to followed by the base verb. In Tagalog, you simply add the prefix I to the beginning of the root word. For Tagalog I-verbs, the infinitive form is also used as the imperative form, so the same verb can be used when giving commands or instructions. Let's look at some examples of Tagalog I-verbs in their infinitive and imperative forms. First, we have the root word balik, meaning return, infinitive and imperative forms, ibalik, ibalik, which means to return. Next, bukod, meaning separate, ibukod, ibukod, to separate. Tanong, tanong, question. Itanong, itanong, to ask. Dagdag, addition. Idagdag, idagdag, to add. Labas, outside. Ilabas, ilabas, to take something out. Alok, offer. Ialok, ialok, to offer something to someone. Now let's move on to the past aspect. The past aspect indicates that an action has already been completed. Let's start with case 1. Root words that begin with a consonant. To form the past aspect of an I-verb whose root word begins with a consonant, insert the infix in into the first syllable of the root word. Then add a prefix I. Here's the pattern: I plus first consonant plus in plus rest of the first syllable plus rest of the root word. Let's use the root word bigay as an example. Since B is the first syllable, we insert in after the consonant B, giving us binigay. Then we add the prefix I at the beginning. The result is ibinigay, ibinigay, which means gave something to someone. Let's look at a few more examples of I-verbs in the past aspect that begin with consonants. Root word bili, meaning buy, past aspect, using the pattern that we've just learned, becomes ibinili, ibinili, meaning bought something for someone. Next, we have kuha, meaning take or get. Past aspect, ikinuha, ikinuha, took or got something for someone. Tupi, meaning to fold. Past aspect, itinupi, itinupi, folded something. Balot, wrapper. Ibinalot, ibinalot, wrap something. Halo, meaning mix or ingredient. Ihinalo, ihinalo, mixed, stirred in, or incorporated. Tanong, question. Itinanong, itinanong, asked something on behalf of someone. Like many grammar rules, this one has an exception. Let's look at case 2 of forming the past aspect. If the root word begins with L R, or Y, the pattern changes slightly. Instead of using the infix in, you use ni. Ni. Let's take the root word luto, which means cook. Following this rule, we place ni before the root word to form niluto. Niluto. Then we add the prefix e at the beginning. The result is iniluto. Iniluto, which means cooked something. Let's look at a few more examples of this exception pattern. Root word lista, meaning list. Following the pattern we learned, let's place ini before it so it becomes inilista. Inilista, meaning listed down something. Next we have lagay. Lagay, meaning put. Inilagay. Inilagay. Put something somewhere. Lipat. Lipat, meaning transfer. Inilipat. Inilipat. Moved or transferred something. Regalo. Gift. Iniregalo. Iniregalo. Gave something as a gift. Reklamo. Complaint. Inireklamo. Inireklamo. Complained about something or someone. Yabang. Yabang. To brag or to boast. Iniyabang. Iniyabang. Bragged or boasted about something. Here's case 3 for forming the past aspect of Tagalog I-verbs. If the root word begins with a vowel, place ni before the root word, then add the prefix e at the beginning. For example, take the root word ayos, which means fix. Simply add ini before the root word to form iniayos. Iniayos means fixed something. Let's study more examples. Root word abot, meaning reach or hand over. Using the pattern we've learned, we place ini before abot so it becomes iniabot. Iniabot, meaning handed over something to someone. Next we have alis, remove. Inialis. Inialis, removed something. Uwi. Uwi, go home. Iniuwi. Iniuwi, brought something home. Utos, command or order. Iniutos. Iniutos, ordered something to be done. Iwan, leave behind. Iniwan. To sound like a native Tagalog speaker, you may drop the other e, so you can just say iniwan. Iniwan, left something or someone behind. Now let's learn how to form the present aspect of Tagalog I-verbs. Case 1. Root words that begin with a consonant. Again, let's use bigay as an example. Insert n after the consonant b to form bini. Then place it before the root word to form binibigay. Finally, add the prefix e. The result is ibinibigay. Ibinibigay, which means giving something to someone or being given to someone. Let's study some examples. Root word dikit becomes idinidikit. Idinidikit, meaning pasting something onto something. Benta. Ibinibenta. Ibinibenta, selling something or something that is for sale. Turo. Itinuturo. Itinuturo, teaching or pointing at something. Sara. Isinasara. Isinasara, closing something. Bulong. Ibinubulong. Ibinubulong, is or are whispering something. Now let's look at case 2, the L, R, and Y exception. If the root word begins with L, R, or Y, repeat the first syllable and place it before the root word. Then add ini at the beginning. Let's use the root word lipat, which means move or transfer. Repeat the first syllable li and place it before the root word to form lilipat. Lilipat. Then add ini at the beginning. The result is inililipat. Inililipat, which means being moved or being transferred. Let's study some examples. Root word lagay becomes inilalagay. inilalagay, meaning putting something somewhere. Luto, iniluluto, iniluluto, cooking something. Reklamo, inirereklamo, inirereklamo, complaining about something or about someone. Labas, inilalabas, inilalabas, is or are taking out something. Yabang, iniyayabang, iniyayabang, bragging about something. Now let's look at case 3 for the present aspect. If the root word begins with a vowel, repeat the first syllable and place it before the root word, then add ini at the beginning. For example, take the root word utos, which means command, order, or instruction. Repeat the first syllable u and place it before the root word to form uutos. Then add ini at the beginning. The result is iniuutos, iniuutos, which means being ordered, being instructed, or being commanded. Here are some more examples. Root word alok becomes iniaalok, iniaalok, meaning is or are offering something. Atras, atras, iniaatras, iniaatras, is or are moving something backward. Uwi, uwi, iniuuwi, iniuuwi, taking something home. Urong, urong, iniuurong, iniuurong, is withdrawing a suit taken to court. Now let's move on to the easiest conjugation rule, the future aspect of Tagalog I-verbs. Unlike the past and present aspect, there are no special cases or exceptions to remember. The same rule applies to all I-verbs. Simply repeat the first syllable, place it before the root word, and add the prefix e at the beginning. Again, let's use bigay as an example. Repeat the first syllable b and place it before the root word to form bibigay. Then add the prefix e. The result is ibibigay, ibibigay, which means we'll give something to someone. Here are some more examples of future aspect. Root word sulat, meaning write, becomes isusulat, isusulat, meaning will write. Lipat, transfer, ililipat, ililipat, will move or will transfer to another location. Dikit, dikit, it becomes ididikit, ididikit, will paste something onto something. Tali, meaning tie or string. Itatali, itatali, will tie up or will bind. Turo, teach. Ituturo, ituturo, will teach, will point, or will point out. Here's a summary of all the conjugation rules for Tagalog I-verbs. Feel free to pause the video or come back to this slide whenever you need a quick review. If you'd like to see these conjugation patterns used in complete Tagalog sentences, be sure to check out these lessons next. They'll help you see how I-verbs are used in real conversations and everyday situations. Here are more Tagalog I-verbs showing all the conjugation rules that you've just learned. Root word bulong, meaning whisper, infinitive and imperative forms, ibulong, ibulong. Present aspect, ibinubulong, ibinubulong. Past aspect, ibinulong, ibinulong. Future aspect, ibubulong, ibubulong. Next, we have sara, meaning close. Isara, isara. Isinasara, isinasara. Isinara, isinara. Isasara, isasara. Harang, block. Iharang, iharang. Ihinaharang, ihinaharang. Ihinarang, ihinarang. Ihaharang, ihaharang. Lista, ilista. inililista, inilista, ililista. Benta, meaning sale, ibenta, ibinebenta, ibinenta, ibebenta. Kasal, meaning wedding, ikasal, ikinakasal, ikinasal, ikakasal. Tago, keep or hide, itago, itinatago, itinago, itatago. Akyat, bring something up, iakyat, iniaakyat, iniakyat, iaakyat. If you're serious about learning Tagalog verbs, drop me an email at talktomeintagalog.tutorial@gmail.com. I'm putting something together right now and I'll add you to the mailing list so you'd get notified as soon as it's ready. But please, email me only if you're seriously willing to learn.